Alright, GB1, close the main doors. This thing's completely useless. Ah, good job, buddy. Oh, hey everyone, and welcome to Group Builders, the show where we create together. I'm your host, Disorderly Cone. Sorry about all that. My friend Timothy downstairs was playing with some DNA of apples, and well, never let a Dalek do that. In this episode, we need to make something a little stronger than our Wolf 1 handgun to take care of our apple problem, and I think I might have the solution. The USG2 Assault Rifle from Wood Trick. This is a thick boy with a lot of parts, but I think that when this thing's complete, it'll be one of the best wooden models we've built here so far on the show. Now, what makes this pretty unique from other rubber band guns is it actually doesn't shoot rubber bands, but wooden bullets that you make within the kit. Pretty cool, right? I'm actually interested to see how well it works, and that brings us to our big questions. 1, how does this kit go together? 2, does it work? And 3, is it worth the price tag of $100? Yeah, that's right, $100. Groovers, let's go down to the workbench and see what's inside this package.
Group Builders, welcome to the workbench. Yep, I removed the mat because today we're going to be working with the wood model that is this giant thick boy here. Look at this guy. It's absolutely huge and super heavy. I mean, listen to this. Yeah, super heavy. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. Whatcha? There we go. I'm going to take this box right here and just put it to the back. Okay. Holy crow. There is a ton of wood here. We're going to have to open this up in a few moments and see exactly what we're dealing with. But let's put that to the side right now and see what's under here. Oh, wow. We have a ton of toothpicks. Looks like some sandpaper here as well. Put that over here. Got ourselves some rubber bands, and it looks like a little bit of wax here. That's very useful for parts that are going to be moving around. Another little sheet of wood. Neat. And the instructions. Oh, and okay, and a little bit of some care, if you will, how to take care of your different gears and things. Okay, that's a pretty hefty instruction booklet. Let's put that over there for right now and open up our wood over here. That's our one piece here, rubber bands. All right, let's get this guy here. You know what? We're going to use our almighty tweezers to give us a hand. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, dropping pieces already. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of wood here. I'm going to be careful taking these sheets off because it seems like the wood's already wanting to come apart and be put together. Oh, man. These sheets are intense. I wonder how big this thing is going to be. Oh, cool. Look at the bullets. Those look really neat. So we have some more pieces there. This looks like our handle. And that's our stock piece that came out a few moments ago. All right, Groovers, now that we've looked through everything, let's take a look at some things you need to know before building your very own. The first thing we need to talk about is that this model has a lot of moving parts. These moving parts are going to be rubbing very close together, and if they don't move smoothly, your bullets aren't going to go very far. So, how can we make this thing shoot at its best? Well, it all starts with a good sanding and waxing. Now, when I started filming this, I didn't film the sanding part because that can be pretty boring, but I can't stress enough how important it is to sand all the parts that are indicated. If there is something for these moving parts to get caught up on, well, they will. So really try to make sure that all your internal parts are as smooth as possible. Another really helpful thing to do is wax the crap out of all the areas inside. The wax that comes with this kit is not really enough in my opinion to get this up and running the way it should, but our friends over at IKEA have some pretty awesome tea lights which are awesome for all of these wooden projects. This wax does a great job of lubricating all of our parts, meaning you'll have way less friction. Some areas need way more wax than others. The magazine is an excellent example of this. If you find the bullets aren't moving freely within the magazine, try adding more wax along the walls and to the bullets themselves. When reassembling the magazine, make sure you don't press the walls too close together. That can cause the bullets to get caught inside. When everything looks good, take a pair of tweezers and move the action in the magazine back and forth. This will help wear it in a little bit, making the whole thing work a lot better. The same thing should be done for the cocking handle. The first couple of pulls might be a little bit hard, but after working it in, you should be good to go. The second thing we need to take a look at is page 15 and 16 with parts 23 and 12. Part 23 is what hits the bullets to make them fly. This part requires us to sand the tips into a rounded shape and then cover the entire piece in wax. Because we end up using 4 rubber bands to hold 21 in place, making this all come together can be super awkward. Don't worry though, you got this. Just take your time and double check the wood areas where the rubber comes in contact. If you see any sharp or rough edges, go ahead and sand those out too, because they'll actually slowly rip away at the rubber bands, causing them to break. When it comes time to install this fully assembled part into our platform, really make sure that the sides are waxed before putting the bolt in place. Part 21 does go through the platform to the other side. Placing it in the right place does take a little bit of love, so don't be surprised if it takes a few tries. The third and final thing we need to talk about is the trigger. These parts are sandwiched together and again need a lot of wax to work correctly, part 56 in particular. Again, I would recommend taking your wax and waxing the inside of the walls where these pieces go, so that when the wood is rubbing together, we have way less friction. When it comes time to pull our trigger for the first time, you may feel like the gun is broken and not working. That trigger can be really hard to pull the first couple of times. I actually thought mine was broken the first time when I went to go fire it because the trigger just wouldn't pull. But when I really started to heave on it, it clicked over. Also, a quick safety tip on this, make sure you don't load the rifle while you're testing the trigger mechanism. This is how injuries happen.
Okay, and there we go. We have fully constructed the USG2 from Wood Trick. And this thing actually is pretty sweet when complete. I do understand when people say that it's a little short, but as somebody who's actually operated with something very similar to this, when I was in the Canadian Forces, we used the C1A2, which was like a M4 variant, but when I was working, I actually worked at the infantry school and I got to use all these really cool foreign weapons, and one of my favorite foreign weapons I got to use was the Tavor 21, but that was freaking so awesome. And you know what's really kind of cool is this one mimics that platform pretty well. Now, mind you, like, yeah, it is a little bit smaller, and of course there are some differences than the real thing, but overall this thing looks pretty cool for a piece of wood. But I digress. Let me put that tangerine back in the pocket there and get back to what we have here in front of us. Now, what's really neat about this is that yes, you do have an adjustable stock on the back here. Now when you go to fire it, it's going to go all the way in. It's not really an adjustable stock, but I mean, come on, it is kind of cool. Now the top part here, you have 2 sights. Neither of these sights work that well for actually shooting, but again, they are kind of cool. What they mean by the adjustment is that you can take them off the rails here and move them around. I'm not going to do that right now because they are a little bit difficult to move around, which is kind of a good thing because you don't want this stuff falling off. Now at the bottom here, we do have a laser pointer or flashlight holder. If you want to use it, you can use it. Adding a laser pointer to this would be kind of cool. And then we make our way over to how this whole platform works. Now let's go into detail about that. First off, you got this right here. This is your mag release. You'll notice right now it's locked into place. As soon as I press it forward, the mag will come out. This is your magazine. Now you load these really cool bullets that we have right here, and we put them on the front. And yes, I did notice that little notch there on the front fell off. Maybe a little wood glue to secure that would be a good idea. Now, getting back to this, we put that little bullet here inside the rifle, slide her in, get a nice little click. Now when you hit that click, that's actually the magazine being fully seated. You can see that it's locked in there, it's not going to move around. Now we need to move on to cocking this thing and getting it ready to fire. Now my son is 10 years old, okay, and he actually has a compound bow that pulls back about 20 pounds. He's able to do that. He's not able to cock this thing back. So just keep that in mind. I think it's funny that they advertise this for children, but it is really hard to pull back on this. Now we pull back, like I said before. You can ride the action on this, it doesn't really matter. And now we are ready to go. Unfortunately with this, there's actually no safety whatsoever on it. So the safety of this is actually your trigger finger. There is quite a bit of play here in the trigger, which is a good thing because like I said, there is no safety on it, but keep that in mind as you play with this. Now, when you're ready to fire it, you're gonna get a really cool sound. Let's do that right now. Boom. Fires off a little bullet, it goes to a good distance. And that in a nutshell is basically how this little platform works. It's a pretty cool piece of kit. Now let's go test some ranges here to get a good idea about how far those bullets actually fly. Pretty sweet test, Groove Builders, and after a couple of shots, I think I have the data we need. It seems, on average, the UGS-2 from Wood Trick can shoot about 24 feet. That's pretty good for a piece of wood. Alright, let's get back to the workbench. Alright, Groovers, now we've reached the ultimate question. Is the Wood Trick USG2 worth picking up? Well, I would say absolutely. This model is really cool and very detailed. It's well above a lot of the other rubber band guns you can see in the market, and because of its unique factor, and I'm a little bit guilty of liking bullpups, yes, I just really think that this is a unique kit that a lot of people will really enjoy. I do think it's funny that Wood Trick advertises this for a younger audience, because to be totally honest with you, I could see a lot of people that have maybe Office Wars, or even some of the guys out in the barracks out there would really enjoy this stuff. I mean, college kids in dorms, I mean, geez, if they knew about this stuff, I'm sure they would be all into painting them and making them look really, really crazy. And because of that, I can really get behind this. You know, if I can find some really cool models to carry from Wood Trick, I might even think about carrying them in my store. That's how much I really enjoyed this kit. Now, I do know that these are not for everybody, but again, if you really do like this kind of stuff, I would say go ahead and grab it. You would really enjoy it. Alright, Groove Builders, that brings us to the end of our show. I had a really good time building with you, and if you guys had a good time, don't forget to press that like button. For more videos like this, hit subscribe as well, as we got all kinds of really cool content coming out in the future. Want to support the channel? Check out groovebuilders.ca. We got all kinds of really cool models on there at great prices with fast shipping. Now, I gotta take care of an apple menace. Alright, Chief One. Open up the door. Oh, sweet.